reaching for the red pencil. Attempts to suppress video nasty, lewd pictures and violent pop songs are nothing new. Censorship of the arts is as old as civilization itself. It probably all began with the bossy state Stone Age men erasing an obstacle or blasphemous drawing from the walls of a cave. And, and nothing reliable is known about censorship of the arts until about 2600 BC, when the ancient Egyptian authorities had started to dictate the colors, designs, and conventions arts could employ. The rules were so rigid they are called the canon. Scale for a human feature, for instance, was laid down as ankle on the first horizon level, knee on the sixth level, shoulder on the 16th level. The world great religions has also gone through censorious phases, and some has not yet grown out of them. The canons for Hindu and Buddhist artists were at times as strictly as those enforced under the Egyptian pharaohs. Religious Jews was forbidden to make or own statues or busts with their rubies cut off prohibition in Deuteronomy 4, 16 to 18 against the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flew in the air, the likeness of anything that crept on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. Devout Muslims were hemmed in by even stricter prohibitions on the representation of people or animals. That was why Islamic artists channeled the genius at Grandara, Istanbul, and other places into the creation of ornamental calligraphy and wonderfully complex symbols and patterns. Like the Bible, Old Testament, the Quran is scratching about idolatry. Neither did the early Christian church has any track with artistic freedom. Painters of the crucifixions were required to show the Virgin Mary on the right of the cross and St. John on the left. God, the apostles' anger, and Jesus himself could be shown with bare feet. The feet of the saint and of the Virgin Mary could not be shown bare. In Byzantine painting, the colors of the clothes of Christian characters was set blue or cherry red for Jesus, yellow and light blue for St. Peter, blue and claret red for St. Paul, and so on. The secular authorities were even more censorious. Statues, boats, and all other likeness of Nero, Caesar, and Julius Caesar were destroyed by successor to obliterate their memory. England, Edward I had Scottish monuments destroyed in pursuit of a policy to interpret the scrolls. Frederick the Wise of Saxony, in the course of a campaign against erotic art, persuaded Lucas Courage to give up painting nude. Franz Henry III outlaws playing cards that Slash suggests that his wife Louise rode the breeches. The cards depicts the king waving a fan and the queen grasping a scratch. Religious censorship has declined in feats and starts since the Enlightenment. In part, the decline reflects a shift in the balance of power between religious and the secular authorities. Even more, it reflects a relaxation by the churches. Like the surrender popes of the remembrances of the Counter-Reformation, church authorities came to see that unuttered artistic geniuses, in music as well as the visual arts, could fill the souls of men with wonderment for the glory of God. Thou need only to be pointed to Michelangelo's Peter, Handel's Messiah, and Ribeiro's sublime painting of Simon taking the child Jesus into his arms. Blasphemy remained of an offence almost everywhere after the Enlightenment, but governments and monarchies, which often amounted to the same thing, were more concerned about race to their authority. In perhaps the most neutral censorship move of the 19th century, a masterpiece by Manet, the execution of Maxime Manet was suppressed by French Napoleon III. The French aircraft was right to be worried. The powerful and subversive painting of execution by firing square of the Pop Empire forced up Mexico by Napoleon III damaged his own and his country's prestiges and contributed mightily to the collapse of the Second Empire. The French were more relaxed about news. Not so the British. They were concerned not only about what painted on the canvas, but also about what went on in the old stadium. The strict classroom rules of the Royal Academy, opened in London in 1769, said that new student under 20 should draw from the female model, unless he was married, and no one could be admitted into the academy during the time that the female model was sitting. Nudity also agitated Americans, unless it could be presented as high-minded. A reproduction of Paul Cabot's September Moon was removed from public display in Chicago by police for showing too little morning and too much meat, but reproductions of the Venus de Milo, because respectable in America when a brilliant marketer, remind his status goddess of liberty in the 1860s. The spread of literacy and the popularity of the theater caused government to become quite unlike what appeared in books and the stage that they were by painting of the day. In Britain in 1737, the Prime Minister Robert Walpole was so vexed by the Senate of Henry Fielding that he pushed through an Act of Parliament to empower the Lord Chamberlain, a royal counter, to censor and license plays.